And welcome to another episode of the Philly BroCast. I am your host, Ryan.
And I'm Ryan. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? What's going on, man? How are you tonight?
Pretty good. Not bad at all. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Love coming on here and getting to talk some Philly sports with you. Obviously, right now, with the Sixers season and the Flyers season over, and the Eagles kind of not yet kind of starting things, although they're starting to get out there for some practices and whatnot. We still have a little bit away before real training camp happens. So all we really have right now active is the Phillies, and yeah, they are inconsistent to say the least. And I think while I want to touch a little bit more on the Phillies later in the show, because I feel like they definitely have some things that they need to do as the season's a quarter of the way over. I did actually really want to start with the Birds. Since we last were on, the Birds actually signed two defensive backs, two corner backs, since we were on. Obviously, the day after our last episode, they agreed to terms with newly free agent cornerback James Bradbury on a one-year deal worth up to $10 million with a pretty low cap hit of just under $3 million. So Howie again once again does his little magic and gets us a starting cornerback. Your initial thoughts when that came across the wire?
Well, I mean, the first thought was, man, I wish it didn't take as long as it did, because once Bradbury was released by the Giants, I was like, pick him up.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, but I can believe that Howie was just doing Howie things and biding his time and making sure he can give the right deal. I had heard that other teams were obviously interested and threw some numbers at him, but he obviously thought that the Eagles were a bright spot and a place where he could succeed, and not only that, get the money that he wanted. So I'm ecstatic about that pick. It's great to have somebody lined up with Slay, and just I think it's been like over the past 4 years, there's only a couple guys with like 15 or more interceptions, and they're both one of those guys. So
yeah, I think the stat was the last 4 or 5 years, Slay and Bradbury are 1 and 2 with pass defenses, with just over 80 each, which is phenomenal. I mean, Bradbury obviously thought this was a good fit for him. He can kind of slide into that CB2, and again, kind of have a little pressure off of him, as he's kind of always been the guy either in Carolina or in the Giants. So I think that certainly helped. The fact that he gets to play the Giants twice and he knows those receivers, I think that was certainly enticing. And the fact, again, he's, while other teams may have offered more money, he certainly still got a pretty good bag, as the kids are saying nowadays. So, yeah, I'm hip. I'm cool.
Are they?
They are, yeah. Come on my level. Schmitter14 on Twitch. What up, Twitch?
What up?
Says Zach Wheeler and Bryce Harper are the only two consistent Phillies lately that bring me joy. By the way, one of them has a bad elbow. Yeah, you're right. And we will get into that momentarily, as we definitely have some Phils talk that we want to get to. But yeah, so not only did they do that, they shored up the CB2 spot. They can keep Maddox right in the slot in the nickel position, and kind of let the rest, battle it out for the 4th and 5th spots on the roster. But yesterday, they actually claimed a corner, Jimmy Moreland, off of waivers from Houston, who I had always been a decent fan of. They did release linebacker Joe Osman in the process to kind of make room. Not a big loss, considering the amount of linebackers they have acquired this offseason. So, One of my X factors for the Birds this year is Quez Watkins. Yeah, I think again because you bring in somebody like an AJ Brown, it pushes everybody down the line a little bit and takes a little, a pressure off from having to be the guy. Smith obviously had a very good rookie, campaign, and now he can kind of float right into that wide receiver 2 spot and not feel the pressure of being the only wide receiver that's really there making an impact. No offense to Quez, I think he'll certainly have an impact this year. Given Brown joining the squad, again he kind of slides into that third wide receiver position, the slot, the guy who's going to move around a lot. And I think the fact of the matter is he's going to be going against nickel corners. He's going to go up against single safeties. Some God willing, some linebackers. So he's going to get a lot of good mismatches, and with that speed, he can certainly take advantage of that. And I think don't be surprised when Quez Watkins has similar numbers to what Smith and Brown are bringing. So I'm very excited, and I think Schmidt 14 is right on the money there. He is a great X factor for this season for sure.
Yeah, that's something we had mentioned when we did our podcast on Saturday. I could just really see, Devontae on the left, Quez and AJ on the right, Devontae doing some simple route, but taking up some attention over here, and then you have AJ doing a slant, and then you have Quez do a post or go, and it's just all the way. Just let those rockets take him out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm pumped for that. I could definitely see him producing, being a huge contributing factor to this offense, and that's really exciting. I mean, it seems like I have to keep mentioning this, and we always have to as a stipulation, but it all comes down to Jalen Hurts. Yet again. I'm sorry, but you can have.
Don't be sorry.
You can have AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, and Tyreek Hill all on the same line. If nobody can throw him the ball, there's nothing you can do. So it's like,
right.
I don't know, but it's.
No, I mean, listen, you are right in the fact that when you say how this season's going to go, I think we all know. I think it's like an understood that we're going to go as far as Jalen Hurts improves this season. And if he's able to, do the things that we've been wanting him to do over the last 20 games or so, 19 specifically, I think it is. But yeah, he's got to be able to go through the progressions. He's got to be able to hang in there in the pocket. He has an amazing offensive line. Let them be there for you. Stick to your guns. Go through the progressions, and again, pick up that accuracy. Start being able to lead receivers. One of the things that AJ Brown brings to this team is yak on yak on yak. The dude can just fly, and once he catches the ball, boom, gone.
So strong.
Same with Quez. I mean, we saw it. Quez literally had the longest play ever without a touchdown, and that was mostly yak going like 90 odd yards and still not getting into the end zone. So this team is built for yak. And one of the things I think we want Jalen Hurts to work on is leading the receiver a little bit more. It's usually this catch and fall down kind of thing. The old Zach Ertz, where he just catches and just crumbles.
Yeah.
But that was Zach Ertz. This is because we're not getting the ball's not getting led to allow them to get that yak. So hopefully that is one thing he can improve on, because this team is certainly more built for that. Mike checks in. What's up, Fooj? It was definitely good hanging out with you on Saturday. We had an absolute blast on Saturday. Thank you very much for all of you who stopped on by. Fuji was there, of course, our buddy Seamus. Rich from his many Eagles groups. Kathleen was on FaceTime with us as well. So, and then obviously a special shout out to Lenny and Susie for for inviting us out, allowing us to share our podcast right outside your wonderful shop. So,
Happy belated birthday, Susie.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Um,
But yeah, towards what you were saying, I mean, it's just incredible that he waited until a wide receiver was open. The fact that he had that much time and still was making these throws or making these plays, I guess, can give you some hope.
Sure.
That, with a little bit more time and with the right reads and throwing a guy open instead of waiting, then that would bring the success because, his yards are going to look better. He's going to be out of that interception trouble. One of the things that I'm looking for is I'm just saying if, someone.
I mean, that's a product, that's a product of Alabama right there. The fact that, he's, they're basically designed to, make the safer plays. And that's why I feel like his turnover numbers are always going to be low because he has that in the back of his head. But in saying that, it also kind of inhibits you from, slinging it, letting loose. And he's got to find that fine line, just like every quarterback. But he needs to be able to sling the ball down the field accurately and in stride because we absolutely have the weapons to do this. And let's not forget, we've just talked about 3 wide receivers who, again, I think are going to be a great trio and possibly one of the better trios in the league. We also have Dallas Goedert, who is just going to destroy the middle of the field. And, who is going to guard him? Who's left to guard him after that? Right. Throw Goddard the ball and let him bulldoze some people. Talk about some yak. He's going to be bringing some people with him.
Big target, athletic, fast. I mean, we've got a great tight end, and he has the opportunity this year to prove that he is, top 5 in the league. In that conversation with many of the greats right now. So I absolutely see that happening. That was one thing that we talked about, I think, is odds right now. What's up? What are you doing? You smiling? You laughing? Am I saying something funny?
No.
All right.
I'm just enjoying a nice CIL tape.
So essentially with that, I think what was his over-under at was it the touchdowns or the catches? I forget which one it was, but I think we all kind of said over for.
Yeah, I think this could be his Zach Ertz, progression year where he takes that big step where Ertz kind of, again, we expected a lot of Ertz in the beginning and he took a little while to get there. But once he was on the cusp of greatness, that next season, he took that giant leap and became one of the better tight ends in the league. And I think that Goddard is right there. He is on the cusp of getting into that conversation. And just like Ertz, I truly believe that he can make that ascension and get into that upper echelon of top 5, top 6 tight ends in this league, without a doubt. And there are some great tight ends in this league. I mean, honestly. Kelsey and Mark Andrews and Darren Waller. You have the young Kyle Pitts who, again, if he can actually score a touchdown on U.S. soil, will be amazing.
Yeah.
So I think Goddard is.
Don't forget George.
Well, yeah, of course, George Kittle, again, if he can stay healthy. So right there, we just named 5 right there that are great tight ends. And
Dallas's opportunity to slip into that conversation.
Right. Absolutely. And I think it's here, and I think it's got to be this season. And if Hurts plays his part in that, if Hurts can ascend a slightly higher level, I think Dallas Goedert is going to easily see the dividends of that, considering that everybody is going to be focusing on our wide receivers. Then whoever's left is covering Goddard, whether it's a linebacker or safety coming down. Well, if you're going to bring up safety to cover Dallas Goedert, well, we're going to just throw the ball right over your head. So I truly believe this offense has, on paper, the makeup of being a top 5 offense. Truly does.
Yeah.
But that's all on her.
Paper.
On paper. Well, yeah, obviously. We got nothing else to talk about but paper. We talking about paper.
And the improvement is real because we saw what Jalen Hurts offered to us last year. So that's not a paper thing. That's a proof is in the pudding. So he needs to show it, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, and I think what is exciting for fans is the simple fact that we saw small increments of dare I say, greatness in Jalen Hurts, where there were drives, there were plays, there were moments where he took over a game and you were just left with your jaw open. And you're like, wow, like this kid can play. He's just got to be able to consistently put it together, improve, certain aspects of his game. And he's right there. I truly believe he could easily be a top 10 quarterback if he makes the small incremental changes that we need from him. Accuracy, reading progressions, and staying in the pocket are the three main ones for me.
Yeah. I mean, making smart decisions with the football. Like another thing we talked about on Saturday was just the fact that, if he gets in a situation in which he would have to, throw the ball away, not curling the ball up and trying to make that extra move, it's throwing the ball away. That's perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine. As one great coach say, you live a pay another day.
Live by another day.
Live a pay another day.
Yep. I think he says live to fight another day, but still.
Well, who knows what he said? So I'm gonna say you live to play another day.
Okay, that's fine. Farmer Fran. Special teams, go run with Farmer Fran.
Yeah, get out. No. Classic.
Yeah, I mean,
but honestly, the offense again. We all can agree that it hurts, but when you look at the other side of the ball, our secondary was the question mark. Is we added depth to the line. Granted, it's another year older, but there is incredible depth. There is incredible talent. If Brandon Graham can come back to even a slight ability that he had prior to his injury, Fletcher Cox, if he can kind of get back to being Fletcher Cox, and I think he can because you have that depth. Adding Jordan Davis and basically having two units that you can just rotate in and out interchangeably, keep guys fresh. And then obviously all of the great improvements in the linebacking core, bringing in Kazir White, Hassan Reddick, who I truly believe will be lining up all over the field because Gannon isn't just a traditional, hey, we're playing a 3-4, that's it. He showed multiple looks where he had some 3-4, 4-3, had some more nickel packages, and I think he's going to utilize that even more, especially more in the 3-4, where Reddick can be kind of an edge rushing linebacker, along with Sweat, who just today there was video of him, rushing the quarterback standing up. So again, that to me tells me that he's going to be kind of used as that outside linebacking edge rusher, the stand-up edge rusher in some packages. And that's exciting to me because when you have a defense filled with players that can kind of play multiple spots, multiple positions in multiple schemes, what is an offense supposed to do? They don't know what's coming. What defense are they about to see? Who's playing where? What guy is going to be out there? That front seven is chock-load full of talent, and guys can get after the quarterback. So I truly feel like if this defense doesn't work, it's not because of the players. It's not because Marcus Epps might be starting at safety. As much as I would love to upgrade that position, I'm feeling much better having Bradbury there. It makes that so much easier to swallow. But now the pressure's on Gannon.
Yeah,
the pressure's on Gannon right now, 100%.
I mean, I would say that the pressure is on the coaching staff as a whole. We haven't seen what Nick Sirianni can do. I mean, the guy hasn't coached, a real team in like his whole career. I mean, if you honestly think He's never been a head coach. I don't think he's even coached high school football. I mean, the guy's been
You mean like Doug
around,
Peterson?
huh?
You mean like Doug Peterson?
I'm just saying, like, he's never coached a team until last year. This was his first job as a head coach. And now he's in his second year. First year didn't go all that well. It went pretty well, but I mean, I can say that there's a lot of room for improvement for him as well. So it comes down to the coaching staff and them taking this talent and taking us to the next level. You know,
Yeah.
10-win plus season, playoff wins. These
Yep.
are things that we have to see, or else you and Jalen Hurts can get on the same bus together and see you later. I mean, this is one of the, not you, the coaches and Jalen Hurts can get on the same bus. We'll get them a group rate. It'll be so. I
I
mean,
5 tickets in bulk.
exactly. And you know, it's just coming down to fundamentals, having these people ready and having them prepared for the different schemes that we're going to throw at these offenses, in particular for our defense. And if you're going to run these different schemes, you have to have disciplined players. And if they're not disciplined, that comes down to coaching.
Yeah. I mean, you're 1,000% right. And,
Thank you.
you know, don't let it get to your head. Yeah. I mean, you know, they vastly improved this defense to the point now where there's no excuses. Same thing for the offense. I feel like Jalen Hurts and this coaching staff are on the same boat. They're absolutely in the same boat, and whether it's they sink or swim is entirely up to them. They don't have any excuses at the end of this year. You
know how basketball teams and football teams have that slogan for their year? It's like with the Heat, it's like white hot heat or something like that for the playoffs.
Right, yeah.
The Eagles slogan is it should be no excuses.
Yeah.
That should be it.
You're absolutely right. 2022, no excuses.
No excuses.
I mean, they brought in AJ Brown, your best friend. Your best friend.
Yeah.
They said, all right, come on down. Play with your boy.
You got you drafted well. You picked up another, like you said, our CB2, huge pickup. These are moves that just really propel you to that next level. And it's all about the coaching and the quarterback performing so that we can move forward in this league and say to the whole entire league, hey, even though Jalen Hurts and these coaches staff didn't work out, you obviously see what we have. You obviously see that we are a desirable team, and you can come here and help us to win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're set up for that. They're set up for either way. You know, if things end up working out, amazing, awesome. That only gives us more ammunition to go get better and use the assets that we have. And, you know, listen, if it doesn't, if Hurts ends up regressing and the coaching staff, you know, fumbles this season, okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't think Sirianni's going to go regardless if they have a bad season. I think Gannon could be the fall guy here. Should this team falter, but still, you can replace Hurts, you can replace Gannon easily, and say again as you said, to the rest of the NFL, listen, we have a plethora of young talent here. We have a nice mix of vets, young talent. All we need is you. Come play for us. We're a quarterback. You know, we'll figure out the quarterback position. We'll get a D coordinator in here.
Yep,
we're good. So I truly believe that this can still be an attractive destination, regardless of the outcome of the season, and regardless of what they end up doing. So they have it both ways, where they're set up a bit for the future, and if things don't pan out the way that they want, well, we'll use those assets to get the people that we do. But if Hurts and Sirianni and Gannon do their thing and do what we expect them to do and improve and get this team to a 10-plus win season, playoff win maybe, you know, these are all things that you can grow on and make yourselves a force in the NFC, not only in the NFC East, but in the NFC conference for years to come, because you have replaced and filled this team with young, good talent.
Yeah. One of the things that we were talking about just simply for the draft is Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox. You've kind of set that up for their replacements, just two big names,
Yep.
which kind of echoes what you were saying, where you're kind of lined up and you've given these young guys an opportunity to have a year, if not more, underneath these guys. I mean,
Right.
Fletcher maybe just a year, but Jason.
Right. But yeah, exactly. Jurgens gets to learn from one of the best centers in the game right now. And he is very similar to Kelsey. So, that transition is going to be super smooth because you're basically not only learning the position, but you're also learning the position from somebody who plays it kind of just like you do and in the style that you do. And similar size and everything. So yeah, I'm super excited that they were able to do that. I think next year, I think the goal should be the Brandon Graham and Lane Johnson replacements.
More of the same. I like it.
Right. And then, at that point, say you do that next year, say with their 2 draft picks, you get an edge rusher to replace Graham or to give him, a year to learn under Graham. And then you again give, a nice tackle to, again, learn under Lane Johnson for another year, maybe 2, depending on, how long he's staying. But yeah, I mean, think about that. If you do that, if that's, regardless of who you sign, what you do, you draft a D end and a tackle. What other position right now outside of that would you go, man, we really need to get somebody to replace an older player?
Yeah, I mean the only other thing that I can think of is that if we're rolling with our safeties that we have.
Well, yes, we want to improve the safety positions, but there's not an age factor in that.
Not
right?
necessarily.
Anthony Harris is 29. That's perfectly fine. And
Yes,
he's easily replaceable. You would basically not have any star power players that you would need to replace or get the eventual replacement due to age after those 2 moves, after those 2 draft picks.
That's a good point.
You're young on the wide receivers. You're young on the offensive line now. You're young in the running back. You're young at quarterback. You're young all across the line. Once you have Jordan Davis replace Cox and this player replace Brandon Graham. Linebackers are young. Other than maybe Slay might be the older, star player at that point. And he still has a couple of years left. Oh, sure.
So, I mean, when it comes down to just, asking that question for age, then I would say there really is no necessity. Regardless, I would say cornerback, safety, running back.
Yeah. Yeah, then it just becomes
shoring up the room.
Shoring up positions or getting better at positions rather than, oh, man, we really need to find a replacement because this player is aging out.
Yeah.
That's a great position to be in, right?
Yes. Fantastic.
I mean, they are literally setting themselves up year after year after year to get younger and better at the same time. If Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean and Jurgens, if those guys end up working out, and they're able to do it again next year with 2 first-round picks and and I'm not saying you're going to get somebody as great as Lane Johnson. I'm not saying you're going to get somebody as great.
You have the opportunity to.
But they have the opportunity to. They have the ability to replace it on some level of competency.
Yeah.
And that's all you can really ask. And then you supplement, with free agency to improve your team. Man, I'm getting excited about the next couple of years, just given the fact of the opportunity that they have to improve their team, getting younger, all while mixing that in with the young, amazing talent that you've already improved vastly. We've seen it in 1 year, how vastly much better that they can get just by a few moves. Just by a few. They didn't sign, 20 free agents like the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
They
Or
signed
even,
like 5.
or even like the Rams, how they just like literally loaded
Yeah,
their team to
let's
win.
trade for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they can show that, yes, that can work, but is that
It obviously
sustainable?
works.
Is that
Right.
sustainable?
No,
Is that
they don't
gonna
have
last
a
you 3
first
years?
round pick since till 2030.
Yeah, it's insane. So it's like you can mortgage your team to literally succeed once, every however many years, or you can set yourself up.
Be a dynasty.
This is the hope to be a dynasty.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's obviously should be the goal of every NFL franchise, is to turn yourself into the Patriots.
Yeah.
And be a perennial AFC, AF or NFC, a champion team, or at least be in that game every year. And Patriots pretty much were in that championship game, if not the Super Bowl, almost every year for, the last God knows how many years, right?
Yeah. I mean,
That
I
should be
should
the
think
goal.
of another team that should have kind of set themselves up like that. The Phillies.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha.
That was a good transition, buddy.
I am the king of the segue.
You really are, man. I feel like we got to get to the point where we have multiple sponsors, and then that would literally be your job, is to work in. Speaking of, just work it in.
I will do that. I will do it with puns and dad jokes and anything that you can imagine. I will throw it in there.
Well, then maybe we do have a couple of speaking of, and I'm always the one doing it. I'm always the one,
You know what? It is a good time to mention one of our sponsors, La Terrain, who sells amazing watches. Just like a team should be, these watches are reliable, beautiful, and will last the test of time. So go to laterrain.com, la-terrain.com, use PSA for site-wide discounts. They not only have watches, but they have excellent sunglasses and some other stuff that you just need to check out. Go check it out. Wristbands, watches, sunglasses.
Watch bands, I think, even, whatever.
The summer is coming. You want to look fly when you're on the beach. Check out la-terrain.com. Use PSA for site-wide discounts.
Yeah!
It's like I went to school for this.
There you did. All right, well, while we're on the swing of things, of talking about how much, those amazing watches are, why don't you go to our next talking point as far as who we need to talk about? I'm not talking Phillies, but I'm talking down below.
That would have to be our partners, Six Pack Coverage. I mean, you could see all their shows. They have shows about lifestyle, health, fitness, finance, you name it, they have a show about it.
Travel.
They want to talk about it. Travel. Things that you do on a daily basis, they have shows about. Check them out, sixpackcoverage.com, and, browse through. Click around. We're on there. We have our shows on there. Thanks, Coach. Next time it's just this, and I got you.
This is built.
But, Back Coverage, our shows are on there. They've been great to partner up with, and it's been a cool experience to check their website out, check out their shows. So go check it out yourself, sixpackcoverage.com, and see all the stuff that they have to provide for you.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. I'm so glad that Andrew, the head over there, reached out to me, and we had a couple of nice conversations. And he actually does a show. So they're based in Tennessee, and he actually does a show with former NFL great Albert Haynesworth, former Tennessee Volunteer, former Tennessee Titan, former Washington Redskin. They have a show about the Volunteers, which is awesome. So Yeah, we're real proud to be part of this more of a nationwide network. They have this like they're building this amazing college network of like having an amazing team at each major college, not only having shows but articles and coverage and getting out there among the people. So they're really building something special there. We're glad to be the Philly part of that, along with our brothers at CEV Network, who again has joined Philly Sports Alliance in many venues over the last couple of years. So we're proud to kind of be the Philly takeover for them. And yeah, check them out. Check out their website. You can see all of us on there, all of our shows, and then check out some of the other stuff that they got going on. Again, great stuff about fitness, travel, finance, food, whatever have you. So
Everyday life wrapped in
everyday life stuff, exactly.
article shows.
And they bring it to you in a nice kind of fun way, like they're just a bunch of dudes just having fun. So we like that. And I'll take the last one about our wonderful partnership with the Painted Lines. We basically came together and said, hey, let's share our stuff with each other. So we share our shows all over their YouTube. So again, welcome everybody whoever pops in from YouTube. I know that we got somebody watching right now. So again, appreciate that. We love the guys over at TPL, so I'm glad you're fans for them and can check out our stuff. But if you don't know who the Painted Lines are, go to thepaintedlines.com. Again, crazy amount of shows, in-depth coverage, Birds, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, you name it. And got, amazing articles daily about all four, plus sports over there. So they stream all their shows to our Facebook. So it's a nice little give and take. And we actually started a roundtable show, a Birds of the Round Table, which will be coming on right after this, if I think things work out, where we basically just kind of talk birds and have fun and do our thing. So yeah, we're super happy to be in partnership with them as well. So yeah, let's talk some Phillies.
Yeah. So are you still riding that everybody relax, be calm, we're okay, it's
still May
season and
it's still May.
Okay. Okay.
Technically, yeah, I don't start worrying until like mid-June.
It's coming quick.
So, coming quick. It's not trending in a good direction. I got 3 weeks until that spot probably happens, but yeah, I'm not thrilled. The fact of the matter is, a week or so ago, they took 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers. I was like, okay, and then right back down to earth. And they lose games that they just kind of give away. Then they play the Dodgers again, and it's a complete reverse. And they were lucky to get out with a win out of their series there. And again, they're in the midst of playing some divisional opponents before, the drop off of the schedule where things get a little bit easier. But you also have the lingering injury of Bryce Harper. His elbow issues. I've seen multiple reports, man. I've seen things where like it's just under, as serious as like needing Tommy John, or it's it's just a whatever. He'll be out for 6 weeks. Like, he'll be fine. So I'm not really sure where he is and all that. And I think it's obviously going to come down to whether he can play with the pain, with the discomfort, because knowing Bryce Harper, he'll play through it all. But if it's going to be a minor thing or a more, less serious thing, then I would say get your surgery, get taken care of. If you're out for 2 months, that sucks. But, they have enough bombers there to kind of hopefully maintain a bit and get you ready for the end of the season, where we're probably going to need you for a playoff push. Or if it's a little bit more serious, then yeah, that's the question, is whether or not you want to risk it, roll the dice and say, I'm just going to play, and what happens, happens. But you also run the risk of seriously injuring yourself, and that we cannot afford.
That's the question I kind of want to pose to you. Say it does come to your worry time. You said mid-June.
Yeah, mid-June. That's when I started taking this shit seriously.
He is still in lingering pain, in and out, possible DH here, probably out some games. And we're in the same, if not worse, position. Do you say, and it requires Tommy John, this is all hypothetical. Do you say, get it because you're our superstar for the next 10 years? Or do you say, let's try and push it out? Let's see what we can do with this year. Get it in the off season. What do you think?
Depends on where we are at that point. If we are, if we're like 10 games out, have the surgery, man. Call it a season. If we do anything with the season, great. If not, whatevs. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Great. Now we can go into the off season where we can maybe unload DD or Gregorius or Segura.
Same guy.
Yeah, we'll get both of them out of here.
Well, Didi's injured right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, you just kind of kick the can to the next year because you still have Castellanos, you'll still have Schwarber, you'll still have Wheeler, you'll still have JT. Although, man, what is going on with JT?
He's just. I have no issues, no qualms with JT right now. He's still doing pretty well at the plate. So
I'm
behind the plate.
I'm qualming pretty good over here. I know that's not
just
a word.
Because of his batting?
Yeah, he's batting like shit.
I understand. He's in a slump. That's the guy where you say, okay, it's early because he has a track record of being great by the end of the year. He's done it.
But he's generally not this slow of a starter. He's not a Schwarber starter, where
Schwarber's been doing pretty well so far.
He has. He's on like a 5-game hit. Tradition. No. Traditionally, Schwarbs is a slow starter, but he is, I think, raised his start a little bit more than his normal, which is great. He had some down times, but I feel like last week or two, he's been really hot, which is great. But JT is inconsistent. He seems a little lost out there right now. And yeah, all right, behind the plate, he's still behind the plate. He's still one of the best defensive catchers out there, and he'll throw anybody out.
You just have to be.
I agree. I'm just saying. Listen, I'm starting on my radar. Now again, I won't talk about it until like mid-June, and then I'll be like, whoa.
Yeah.
JT, we need to have a talk, bro. What's going on?
I understand. That's reasonable. I mean, even someone like Bohm, I mean, he's been pretty great so far this year. Been very happy with how he's played. And then it's like, he'll have a couple games where he's just off. But that, again, it's baseball. You bat 300, you're in the Hall of Fame. It's one of those. So I will give JT that time. I know as long as he's consistent behind the plate, which is where we need him, then the batting will come. I know it will. It's just a matter of time and not a matter of, him, unless there is an injury or something that we don't know about.
And that's the thing I hate about. Honestly, I will say that's one thing I truly hate about professional sports.
They're going to be a hidden injury like Harden.
Right.
Harden was hurt this year.
Right. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. It's because you look at a player who you have expectations, who, again, may be hurt, but you don't know officially. There's no official word, and his play is down here. So, and especially if it's an older, getting up there in years, or even like that transition from prime to veteran, you immediately go, oh, he's cooked. He's done. He's whatever. And I hate the fact that we immediately jump to that, but I also hate the fact that they're not upfront about their injuries. Like, we need to know these things. Like, your perception is 9/10 of the law. Like, if you got a hamstring injury that's lingering and you play it off like, nah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, you hear when you hear that hammy pop, you got to tell somebody.
I fell to the ground like a sack of potatoes.
That's what that honestly, I don't mean to sound this so mean, but that's what you get for playing for another team and never playing for my team.
It was like I got sniped. A buddy of mine said, "You got sniped," and I was just like, straight down. Yeah, but it's funny that you're saying all this, and JT just hit an RBI. So
yeah.
I mean, it was a sack. It's a sack fly, but that's an RBI. That's
I'll take it. It doesn't count as an at bat. Woo-woo.
So, like, towards what we're kind of saying, with the Phillies being kind of right around 500, the inconsistencies frustrating you. I mean, they have a 7-game away trip, I guess. 7 straight games away against the Braves and the Mets. It's really tough. And
right, but after that,
bring your A game. Exactly. So
but after that, it drops the hell off.
If we can ramp up during this time, and then have that cruise period, that could lead us into a really good situation. So
I agree. That's why
I can see the promise. The only thing is, you're just getting Wheeler going now, so that's good. But like Nola's back to crap. You have one of your best pitchers being Ranger Suarez, which I doubt that's going to be consistent. I mean, yes, you just today signed Zach Eflin. I don't know if we talked about that at all.
No, I didn't hear about this.
I mean, this was minutes ago. I probably have it on my phone, actually. I don't want to look on my phone. But I'll just look up what the deal was. I think it was a 5-year deal. But just signing him, that's very promising. I like Eflin a lot. I heard that he got sandbagged by Baldy or Mr. Muscles over in San Fran. I'm just saying that he's got a lot of potential and talent that was literally suppressed by a coach. Where is this at? Sorry, because it
just happened. Yeah,
I think it might have been 1 year actually. I lied. Just trying to find it. So they might be just putting them on 1-year deals. Sorry, folks. This literally just happened, so it's not as easy to find as certain things. 5.7 mil for the year. So
for a year extension.
Yeah. So I mean, I find that promising. I like Zach Eflin. And then you got some other guys that are just kind of like Nebel. He's just kind of there, and Gibson, he's just kind of there, and it's like, where's the guy who's going to be the one that steps up and really delivers for this team? Is it just Wheeler?
No.
If that's it, then we have no chance.
Who started out pretty slow himself, and Nola's had a game or two where he's actually looked halfway decent, but generally he's been inconsistent.
Garbage.
Or garbage.
He's like, what is he, like 1-4, 0-3? Like he's.
I mean, I don't always take the whole win-loss thing that serious, but yeah.
What about ERA?
Well, that is more of an indicator. Sure.
I mean, just like what I'm saying is, Wheeler, you know what you're going to get. Just kind of like JT. Slow start, but you know what you're going to get. They're proven. They've done this. It's the same thing with what we're now witnessing with Nola. We know what we're going to get. It's a shame, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Now, again, like I said, about probably 3 more shows, we'll then start to take this a little bit more serious. Not that we don't take it seriously, but my concern level will be legit and forthcoming at that point.
We all can't wait for you to be like.
Well, go after yourself, buddy.
Flyers still looking for a coach.
You're looking for a coach. What a shot! What a shocker! The Flyers haven't made a freaking quick decision. They've never made a quick decision in this when it comes to getting a head coach. It's always they're like the last ones that are like, hey, let's just see who's left. We'll take who got. We're like, whatever.
Yeah.
No, be aggressive and go get somebody. Don't freaking interview Tortorella.
And then
pass around more than the freaking town whore. I'm done with them.
I think the last guy was Trotz, and they're gonna, look into that. But they're not gonna make.
He's going elsewhere. Like, don't even worry about it.
They're not gonna make any picks or any names. So you're just gonna have to wait.
Yeah, or get somebody like suck ass Tortorella.
I don't want John Tortorella.
No, well, they've already interviewed him, so they obviously want him.
I've already hated him my entire life.
He has literally coached all of the teams that I hate.
All of the teams we hate, yeah.
So,
I think the worst was the Rangers, but still.
Yeah, worst was definitely the Rangers. But yeah, he can absolutely go F himself. I don't want him on this coaching this team. And of course, he's going to be the coach. And I'm going to cut this clip, and I'm going to absolutely tag him in this when he gets hired.
All right, and then the last thing, Sixers. We could talk about this next week, but they have an opportunity to make another big move, but it's going to stretch our bench to next to nothing. It's like scraping butter over too much bread.
Are you talking about the Bradley Beal for Toby,
Bradley Beal,
and Thibault and some picks?
I've heard that. I've heard Zach LaVine, and I've heard Donovan Mitchell. So we can talk about this next week. But
I will take all three of them, and I'm okay with giving up Thibault at this point.
You're going to have to give up Maxey.
No way.
For Beal or
no.
Donovan Mitchell, you're going to have to give up Maxey.
No, I will not. No, I will not. You will take Toby, you will take Thibault, and you will take as many effing picks as I throw at you. You are not taking Maxey.
They can't trade picks before next year's the upcoming draft because of the rule where you can't have
So
first round picks.
Take some future ones. F off.
I still don't think that people are going to do that because it's just pushing it down the road. Like optional.
I'm sorry. Is Washington in a rush to get that much better when you're willing to trade your star and only player?
Are you in a rush to have 3 players on your team and that's it? Like your starting 5 is going to be blank, Beal, Harden, and Embiid. And you have to convince James Harden not to take the full option.
I mean, he's definitely taking the player option. Our only chance is to maybe sign him to like a 2-year deal where it's a little bit less than max.
Exactly. But you're splitting like $60 million between 2 players and Embiid.
Agreed, but
the salary cap could be at like 124. Who are you going to get?
Beal is a little less than Toby at this point, so
I'm just saying, even if you get rid of Toby, somebody might take that whole contract, and that's no way. We're gonna have to eat some of that, and then you're gonna look at signing trades or all this other options.
Listen,
it might not be worth it. It might be worth it to just keep our team and wait.
There's very few players that I would include Maxey in a Toby for star player deal.
Is Donovan Mitchell one of them?
No.
Why not? He's fantastic.
So is Maxey.
I'm just saying, Donovan Mitchell is what, 3 years older than Maxey and proven?
No.
4?
Nope.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, we'll take your time. And then I have a trivia question for you, as always. But it is a little bit less sports involved and more towards history. Here's the question while you look up if Donovan Mitchell is 4 years or 3 years older than Tyrese Maxey. Ben Franklin moved to Philadelphia in 1723 from what city?
I should really know this, considering my wife is basically a historian.
She is.
I mean, I it has to be Boston. I know that's where he was born, and I don't think he lived anywhere else prior.
Nicely done. Well done. I definitely thought you were going to mess that up. And how much older is Donovan Mitchell than Tyrese Maxey? How much?
4 years. 4 years.
And proven to be consistent over those 4 years and an all-star.
You're right.
Tyrese Maxey, even though he was great, came in like 4th or 5th for most improved player, and he almost doubled his production.
Listen, the incremental upgrades or improvements that Maxey has shown from year 1 to year 2 is.
You like him because he's a Philly guy. He plays like a Philly guy.
He does.
And I love him too. But guess what? Donovan Mitchell is going to get us over that hump.
I don't think he is.
And get rid of Tobias Harris.
Which is great.
And Thibault.
So you're saying that I have to give up Thibault, Maxey, and Toby for Donovan Mitchell? That's too much.
And that's it.
We can't afford to give up bench when we already have no bench.
We have no money.
We have no money. We have no money.
That is one bench player, and you're giving up
2 starters
to spend just a little bit more on Donovan Mitchell.
No.
Yes.
Morey needs to figure it out without giving up Maxey. Whether it's Beal, whether it's Mitchell, whether it's Dame, whether it's
he is at the height of an off. Like if you say I'll give you Tyrese Maxey and Tobias, just those 2.
You're right.
And you throw in Thibault to sweeten the deal, you can get.
You probably won't need to.
Almost anybody.
You're right.
Because people want Tyrese Maxey.
Right, and I want Tyrese Maxey.
But don't you want to get over the second round hump? I do. I want to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I also want to make sure that this team is protected for this future. And you already have a potential multi all-star player in Tyrese.
I would love to see Donovan Mitchell and Joel Embiid play together for the future.
I agree. I like Donovan Mitchell. I really do. It would hurt me too much to see Maxey go on.
Oh, like that hasn't happened in the past for the Sixers.
That has happened a million times in Philadelphia.
I know. So get used to it.
I can't do it again. Not Maxey, man. I love Maxey.
I get it. I
love him. I love him. Like he is an adopted son of Philadelphia already, and he has been here for less than 2 years.
It's incredible.
It's incredible how much we embrace that type of player, that also, energetic.
I get it.
And I don't know what we're getting as far as that is concerned with Donovan Mitchell.
What do you mean you don't know what you're getting? The guy is amazing.
I just know he's a great ball player, but I don't know if he's a Philly ball player.
Yeah, he'll be one. That's the thing with Philly is they can convert you. Now, when you thought about
or we've seen it a billion times where we think we have a Philly ball player and we get somebody who comes in here and acts like an absolute shaloob, and we kick them out of town because they ain't Philly.
Usually that's like draft picks and random trades. This is like big time where people are going to go out and buy Donovan Mitchell jerseys off the rack. And not only that, if he talks to Bryce and says, hey, I didn't think I'd go to Philly, but guess what? I put on these dumb fanatic cleats and these people freaking love me. I mean, seriously, that's all you have to do.
Okay, but guess what?
You dangle the carrot.
Harper is a Philly type of dude.
Dude,
He's a
I
hard
hated
worker.
Bryce Harper. I didn't
Well,
want Bryce Harper.
of course, he was
Now
a
that I got him,
national.
I love him.
He was a cocky little kid playing for the Nationals. But guess what? When you think of his core, abilities and his core nature, he's a hard worker. He is a guy that's going to play through injuries. He's a guy that's going to slam himself into a wall for Philly. And alone, yeah, right. That alone, though, endears you to this town. It endears you to this town. Or you have somebody like Ben Simmons who thinks he's above it all, who doesn't put all of his efforts in. He thinks, oh, I'm an all-star.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Right, but perfect example. Dude wasn't a Philly guy. And we let him know about it, and we got him out of town. Carson Wentz wasn't a Philly guy. Carson Wentz wasn't a Philly guy. And we got him out of town. We need people who will die and bleed for this city. And if not, at least show that you will.
If not, we will kill you.
Seriously. Think about all the beloved players that have come through this town. All they had to do was show the effort that they wanted it just as bad as we do. And if you show that, you will be endeared here forever.
Donovan
But if
Mitchell
you don't,
did that.
if you think you're above it all, if you think you don't need to bust your ass to get better every year, then fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. We don't want you.
A, watch your language. There's kids
No,
watching.
it's my show. I'll curse if I fucking want to.
There's kids watching. B,
no, there's not. Go to bed, kids. It's 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock. I don't know what time it is.
It's summer. Anyway.
Not yet.
Just stop. And B, Donovan Mitchell did that for a team that's like, I don't know, what, 11th in market? It's like, we're up 5 positions. Like, we're a top destination. I'm saying he wants to come here.
What did he do? Endear himself to the Mormons? Like, get out of here.
I'm just saying that, yeah, exactly. That's probably even less. Do they even have any other teams in that state? Yeah, exactly. So you're literally putting yourself out there for a team that only knows basketball. And
it still doesn't have fans show up.
Exactly. And you have talent on that team, and literally he does his thing. I could only imagine what he would do in a top 10 market.
Listen, I'm not saying I don't like Donovan Mitchell. I do, and I think he'd be a great addition to this team, and I do think that Philly would love him. But it would crush us. And he would always
crush you.
No! It would crush this city to lose Maxey. Don't give me that shit. That will always be tied to him. And Donovan Mitchell will always be tied to Maxey. And no matter what Donovan Mitchell does, unless he brings us multiple championships and Tyrese Maxey goes to wherever, to Utah, to whoever, and sucks absolute ass, that's the only way that this thing will get over this thing. People will be in mourning if Maxey gets traded.
Until the parade down Broad Street, and then it's who?
Yeah. Well, let's not put the cart in front of the horse there, buddy. Let's get out of the second fucking round.
That's why you get a guy like Donovan Mitchell.
We just got a guy like the fucking James Harden. We still couldn't do it.
We know what we were getting with James Harden. Don't play that. You didn't think you were getting Houston James Harden, did you?
I thought I was at least getting quasi Brooklyn James Harden. Like shit.
Quasi Brooklyn James Harden had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant on his team. We got
freaking Florida James Harden, where nobody fucking knew who the fuck he was.
I think everybody did. That guy was awesome.
He was, but he wasn't like a huge college name.
He was pretty big. Yeah. Phillies game's all tied up.
Oh, good.
Anyway.
It came with a lot. Sorry. We
clearly for anybody who's been sticking through that.
Right. Jeez. Thank you to the one. Thank you to the 1 or 2 people. I'm sure it's Shane because he's the one watching on Twitch. Thanks, bro. So that's been the constant. Which Shane might be our one and only Twitch viewer. Although I think we had 2 last week. So I appreciate all freaking 10 people that follow us on Twitch.
Thank you.
Clearly,
Seriously, thank you.
clearly, I do a lot of marketing or know how Twitch works. Otherwise, I'd maybe put more effort into it.
You think Twitch is an involuntary spasm in your body?
Yeah, I'm gonna freaking Twitch into a coma if we trade Maxi. Get the fuck out of here. All right, well, we have taken up enough of your time. We went a little OT tonight. We were gonna have our Eagles Birds of the Roundtable show, our Eagles Roundtable, but unfortunately, with Dives away in Florida, we just couldn't get the required amount of people, so it would have literally just been us two again, and nobody needs that for another hour. So, so we're gonna head on out of here. Appreciate everybody who came in and watched. Special shout out to Shane and Mike, of course, for giving us some comments. But we're gonna head on out of here. We'll see you guys next week for another Tuesday edition of the show. So, Ryan, you got anything to add before we get on out of here?
I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah, we really did. So, all right, everybody. So for the Philly BroCast, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ryan. Peace out, bros.
All right, bro. Go Birds.
Go Birds.